our month for the celebration of our Hello Booktube! This is Marty and it's quizzing time! If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more bookish content, book talk, and book reviews with me. It's been a while. 3 weeks nga ba? Or almost a month na hindi ako nag-upload because everything is crazy around us and I don't know, wala akong energy to create a new content. So, magka-catch up na muna tayo sa mga book tags na hindi pa natin nagagawa. And one of those is this tag. Ang bilis, di ba? Tapos na nga yung first half of the year. Nang ganun-ganun na lang. Tapos wala pa ring mass testing. Anyway, sino pa nga bang hindi nakakamiss sa dati nating buhay? In my case, since I'm a teacher, this month is actually our nutrition month where we celebrate nutritious food and encourage students, parents, and other stakeholders of the school to take part in our nutrition month celebrations. And aside from the activities that I have been missing, like my routinary life has changed ng ganun-ganun na lang. But one of the activities in nutrition month that I really miss is the Cook Fest. Every culminating activity of Nutrition Month where parents would come to school and participate in cooking a nutritious food within this affordable price range. Good old days. So, what better way to celebrate Nutrition Month in Booktube community aside from doing this witty and yummy book tag created by Luisity? I will include the link of his original video of this tag in the description box below. And thank you Gerald of Gerald the Bookworm for tagging me in this tag. Let's now go to our Filipino cuisine book tag. So in this tag, meron tayong 7 Filipino cuisine and with them is a matching book prompt. The first one is adobo. Now according to my readings, adobo actually came from the Spanish word adobar, which means to marinate or pickling sauce. When Magellan went to the Philippines, his people discovered this way of the locals on how they preserve meat. And nung time na yon, ginagamit pa lang nila nun vinegar and salt to preserve meat. And then when the Chinese came, they have traded soy sauce, and so salt was replaced by soy sauce. So now it became a combination of meat, vinegar, and soy sauce, which was the version that the people of Magellan came to know. Now, wala pang term nun for adobo ang mga Filipinos. So the Spaniards labeled that cuisine or that dish as adobar. At yun yung label na kinalakihan na natin ngayon. Meron tayong 31 adobo dishes, and I think parang lahat ng meat pwedeng gawing adobo. Sino pang hindi may gusto sa adobo? I especially like pork adobo. But we have a lot of other adobos and who knows how many more are still not recorded. For this tag, since this is an all-time favorite food or all-time favorite dish of the Filipino people, the prompt is an all-time favorite book. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Okay, wait. Wait. I know the author is problematic, and if you have been following Harry Potter fandom since a long time ago, you already know that. Now, this issue on transphobia of JKR is not really new. She has been like that for ages. And she just couldn't shut up on the wizarding universe. Now, I understand, as the author, you would like to own that masterpiece. But, sabi nga ni Uncle Rick, once you have published your work, it's now up to the reader how they would interpret it. So, we actually don't need your validation. Sort of. It has been a long time ago since I have learned to separate the artist from the arts. And yes, that argument is really problematic, but I think immune is the word. Siguro, immune na rin ako sa pagiging shitty ni J.K. Rowling. Yes, I sympathize with them. Sorry, I'm not going to give up my home, and that is Hogwarts. Many bookworms have started with Harry Potter. Who would deny, right? Who would deny? The wizarding world is just so magical. Friendship were built there. JKR actually built this diverse universe. Because I think I owe my readings to Harry Potter. But there's more. Hindi naman natatapos sa Harry Potter. Yes, I love Harry Potter, but since growing up, I have met other wonderful reads and other fandom that I would like to join, and I have included in this list 2 more books, which are, number 1 is Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I cannot contain myself. Pinakilala yung Mistborn sa akin by one of my friends. Shout out kay Kuya Ruben, and this is his channel. Thank you. Thank you, Kuya Ruben, for introducing Brandon Sanderson's work to me, especially Mistborn trilogy. I instantly fell in love with the world. Napaka-unique ng kanyang magic system where people could burn metals, they could consume metals, and the metals would give them power. Nice! We have Final Empire, or it was renamed as Final Empire, but before it was Mistborn. And then we have Well of Ascension, and then The Hero of Ages. And Brandon Sanderson is just so prolific. You know, prolific? Siya lang ata yung writer that I know that could write so many and so long books. Like, every year, nagpapublish siya ng books. And they're not even simple books. They are complex magic system. And it takes a lot of research to formulate this magic system. But Brandon Sanderson, you're the god of fantasy. Mistborn, fangirl. So, Mistborn. Mistborn is a heist novel where Kelsier gathered these mishaps, these different people from different walks of life, and they went into a heist, eventually that led to rebellion, to take down the Lord Ruler by that time. And what I like most about this novel is how diverse the characters are, how real they are, and how well they develop from the first page of the book up to the next page of the book. What more? The simple writing style. The narration is just so smooth that it's like 400 pages or 500. It's a thick book, but you could finish it in one day because the narration is just so well done. Bravo. Bravo, bravo. We follow the story of Vin and how she became part of this heist led by Kelsier. Kelsier, my love. So, there, we have Mistborn. And the third one, guess what? Guess what? Oh, alam niyo to. Lagi ko to sinasabi. Buttresses is a graphic novel series by Bujatan and Kadjo Baldissimo, where we follow this paranormal detective, Alexandra Trece. And what I like most about Trece is its accurate representation of Philippine folklore and Philippine mythology. Like, when you are in doubt on how a tikbalang would look like yung tikbalang ba? Centaur ba yun? And it was actually discussed and it was already clarified that tikbalangs are not centaurs. They are half horse and half humans. The upper body is horse and then the lower body is human with hooves of horses. Ay, basta. So, yeah. Buttresses is that for everybody. It's R13. It's full of violence. And it talks about social issues. Especially the first books of Trece. Kikilabutan ka na lang kapag nakita mo yung mga political figures in the Philippine history who has passed away, and some are even living now. And it's like a subtle commentary on social issues which fantasy people would love. So, paano masasabi na all-time favorite ko yung book na yon is when after reading it, gusto ko na siya ulitin. Ano daw? Like, malalaman ko na all-time favorite ko siya kapag inuulit-ulit ko siya. Because I don't reread most of the time. Dahil sa dami ng mga unread books ko, I don't find myself rereading many books. Actually, napakakunti lang ng mga books na binabasa ko ulit or I reread because nasasayangan ako dun sa time na babasahin ko yung book na yon. Kapag naisip ko na i-reread yung book na yon, that means I really love that book and that book actually hit me 100%. Kaya yun. They're under my all-time favorite. Harry Potter, Mistborn, and 13. Next prompt is Athoria. Nakatikim ka na ba ng durian? Ako hindi pa. I cannot go past its foul smell. It needs a lot of effort. It's parang basang medyas na panis na laway, pinagsama-samang bulok na itlog, panis na gatas, pinaglumaang sapatos na babad sa ulan, lahat na mabaho. Mabaho. So yun, kaya hindi ko siya makain. But I like durian candy. But the fruit itself, hindi ko pa nakain. Ang mga durian are called Superfruit of Southeast because they contain a lot of vitamins. It even has iron, vitamin C, dietary fiber. It also helps in making your skin healthy and lowering your blood pressure. But too much of everything would still ruin your health. So, slow down lang sa Superfruit. For this prompt, I will be talking about a book that I have heard a lot of negative things about it, but I still enjoy. And, ang hirap! Kasi wala yung mga books ko dito sa bahay. Lahat ng mga books na nabasa ko are already in the apartment, and I cannot travel often. So, I will just go back and mention the selection series. So since the selection series is going to be adapted in a movie, a lot of people has negative thoughts on the selection, saying it's so petty and saying it's just so fluffy and it does not contain anything dahil yung main character nga is not even that remarkable and nakakainis pa minsan, napakarupok niya, tapos napaka-indecisive niya, and just a weak character, America Singer. But I still enjoyed it. It's like what I said in my previous video in the stay-at-home book tag. I still enjoyed the selection series because of its fashion elements, because of its giddy energy whenever I'm reading it, and the intrigue when you thought that Prince Maxim is already falling for America Singer, but then you will be slapped on the face and be reminded that marami pang ibang mga girls that are going after Prince Maxim, not just America Singer, and they are actually more doable. So yun. Mahilig ka sa mga cute romance stuff and gusto mo lang ng light political issues or light political discussion, you can pick it up and I think you will enjoy it. I'm recommending the selection to all of those who are hesitant reader, yung mahilig lang sila sa fluffy Wattpad books and are not yet into reading thick books. Ayun. So, siguro maganda mag-start dun sa the selection series. And then, maybe you will enjoy it and let me know what you think about it. The next prompt is lechon. Lechon is actually a Spanish word and it means roasted piglet. And you say lechon in other parts of the world, it's a roasted piglet or yung biik. Inihaw na biik. But the Philippines is well known for our lechon, not just because napakasarap ng lechon natin, but also because our lechons are huge. Mama Pig's Lechon prompt is a book that may be problematic, but you still love it. And that is none other than Dan Brown! Woo! He's an amazing writer. I'm a fan of Dan Brown ever since nabasa ko yung Angels and Demons. Nung una ko nabasa yun, hindi pa masyadong kilala si Dan Brown. Or, like, wala pa ako masyadong naririnig. Because I was young and too foolish to know anything about media. But when the Vinci Code was published, the Philippines went upside down. Because the Philippines is mostly Catholic, and here goes Dan Brown making fiction, confusing a lot of people of history and art, because yun yung power ni Dan Brown, to mix fiction with reality very close. Like, if you're not really a keen reader or a firm believer of your faith, ayun, siguro nga, it will shake your faith. If you're not really that firm, if you really do not know your faith, then maybe you will be shaken. But a lot of people has thought negatively and said that Da Vinci Code was a problematic book. It was even banned in the Philippines because Da Vinci Code proposes that Jesus Christ might have a daughter, that he has a lineage after him. For this, from the first thing that comes to mind is Langdon series, from Angels and Demons to Da Vinci Code to The Lost Symbol, Inferno, Origin. They may be problematic to other people, but I enjoyed them. I really do. Fifth cuisine, and that is sinigang. It's a sour soup usually served during the rainy season to ward off the cold in the Philippines. In this prompt, we'll feature a book that has awful or sour characters, yet some folks love them. And that is Ladies and Gentlemen. And I'm really sorry, I'm not judging you guys, but it's not my cup of tea. So, Twilight. But there are a lot of people who really love Twilight, and there are a lot of bookworms who started reading after they have read Twilight. And I'm very thankful for Twilight for bringing a lot of people to reading. We have our reading preferences. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea. It's just not mine, and I'm not really interested with Midnight Sun. I don't like Bella. Bella for me is so flat. She's so reckless, so mindless. As a female lead character, she's only bringing trouble and not contributing to the plot. I don't like Edward Cullen. Edward Cullen is equally repulsive. If you really love Edward Cullen, siguro yun, you're just you. I'm not judging you. I'm judging the character. For me, Edward Cullen is selfish. I will tell you a story. When we were in high school, 4th year high school, we were asked to do a character analysis for our English paper. And me, being a Harry Potter fan, I don't know, there was this parang huge fandom war between Twilight and Harry Potter back then. And I'm in the Harry Potter side. And I was one of the bullies ng Twilight fans. So, because I did not really like Twilight. And, unfortunately, lahat ng groupmates ko are fans of Twilight. And, we ended up doing an Edward Cullen character analysis. And me, being a writer, umaasa sila sa akin na masusulat ko and mabubuo ko lahat ng mga ideas nila into one cohesive paper. And I cursed every hour na ginagawa ko yung paper na yun because I'm trying to find positive attributes of Edward Cullen. if I remember correctly, I've mentioned three characteristics of Edward Cullen that are positive, and then a lot of negative characteristics of Edward Cullen. The first one that I remembered, I wrote there, or I included in that character analysis, is that Edward Cullen is a childish grown man. In his age, since he's a vampire, he does not age physically, but his mental age supposed to age with him, right? But it does not. He still thinks like a teenage boy falling in love with a teenage girl. And I cannot tolerate. Ang arte, I cannot tolerate. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of Twilight. I'm not really a fan of Edward Cullen. And yes, sour characters. Next prompt is pastillas. Pastillas de leche is a sweet candy made with milk. And contrary to the common belief that pastillas is formed using cow's milk, the authentic pastillas is actually made with carabao's milk. And you can buy authentic pastillas de leche from San Miguel, Bulacan and Laguna. For this prompt, I will choose a book that is sweet, light, and fluffy. And there are a lot of books that are sweet, light, and fluffy. There are very few comments and opinions and reviews about this book, but it's actually a good one. And that is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. This actually is the fifth book in the series, kasi sabi ko nga, yung mga books na I already read are in the apartment, and this one, I haven't read it kasi wala ako nung fourth book. I did not know na 5 books pala ang Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland. So I didn't know. Mayroon pa palang 4th book before this, and I'm still looking for that. Kung alam nyo yon, this is the cover. Anyone who knows the 4th book, kasi hindi ko siya matapos-tapos dahil wala akong makita nito, laging out of stock. So if you have anyone who knows where to buy this 4th book, please let me know. Please send me an email or send a direct message in my Twitter or whatever. Just let me know. Okay? Or in the comment section. Let me know. In this story, we follow September. I will now put this down kasi napaka-spoilery ng cover niya. So, we'll just put this down. Kahit napakaganda ng cover, di ba? Para hindi na lang tayo ma-spoil. So, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland is about this middle grade September. She is an ordinary girl from Kansas. One day, September was left at home because her mother was at work and yung father niya is fighting a war somewhere. And so she's left at home with her routinary life, and that's when the green wind fetched her and carried her to Fairyland. And what I like most about this story is actually the writing style and the narration. It's so funny and humorous. Sabi ko nga, light and fluffy. It's like the narrator is directly talking to you as a reader, and napaka-witty ng mga names and napaka-witty ng narrator. And I really ship September and Saturday. Saturday is an ocean boy. He has the power of the ocean, and he is an interesting character. Kasi when you win over him in a wrestling match, Saturday will give you 1 wish. So that's Saturday. Napaka-interesting, di ba? Tapos, we also have here my favorite wyvern. Wyverns are like dragons, but they're not dragons. They only have 2 feet, but they can fly. One more thing that I like about this novel is how ordinary September is. And since she was carried by the green wind to Fairyland, naisip niya na baka special din siya, baka naka-prophecy din siya like Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, na meron silang prophecy and they are the chosen one. But then, my poor little girl, September, she was taken just by coincidence, and there's nothing special about her. Na porque hindi ka chosen one, ay wala ka ng adventures. We all have our own adventures, and it's only up to us if we will embark on them. and on the process, learn and develop as a person. I have given this series 5 stars in Goodreads. If you want to start middle grade fantasy, please include this fluffy fantasy in your reading list. Sabi ko, hindi ako mag-i-include ng mga recent reads ko sa list na to. But for this one, Kutsinta, I can only think of one sweet book. One slow, sweet book. And that is The Night Circus. Wala pa rin akong copy ng The Night Circus up to now kasi ayoko yung mga lumalabas na cover art ng The Night Circus. I'm still wishing to have the British cover art, the blue one. Yun. Kaya siguro hindi mo na ako bibili. But this book, for this prompt, Kutsinta, is a slow book but a sweet one. Siguro dala din ito ng love ko for plot-driven stories. I find Night Circus as a really slow book. It's like strolling around in a lazy afternoon or a lazy evening. Not much happens. But I really love it and I really enjoyed it. Sabi ko, ayoko ng slow books, but I love Night Circus. Siguro yung atmosphere, I like the atmosphere of the Night Circus. Siguro yun yung sweet sa kanya. And the mystery around the Night Circus itself is sweet and memorable. So, yes, the Night Circus. So, the Night Circus is a story of Celia and Marco, who were trained since childhood that they will be competing in this battle of illusionists, and little did they know that only one of them will come out alive from this battle. Premise-wise, it's interesting, but the book, it's like killing me softly. Last prompt is pinakbet. So, pinakbet. Naalala ko si Gerald. So, anyway, pinakbet is a Filipino food where all vegetables in the bahay kubo are combined and sautéed with bagoong and served on a Filipino family table. I like veggies, so I like pinakbet. Pinakbet prompt is a book that has many insights. Lalayo pa ba tayo? Siyempre, the Bible. Char. Of course, I don't have the right to say or include the Bible here kasi hindi ko pa nga natatapos yung Bible. Lagi lang ako nasa Genesis, tapos Exodus, tapos cut. Hindi ako natatapos. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. But, yeah. One of the books that I would like to finish this year is the Bible. So, I have included 3 required readings when I was in college. They were required because we are English majors and these are renowned authors and renowned books. Some even consider them classics already. And those are The Little Prince by Antoine de Exupéry, Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and The Book Thief by Marcos Suzak. So, The Little Prince. Anong insight yung nalaman natin sa The Little Prince? Napaka-cliche na, di ba? Na yung quote from the facts that says, what is essential is invisible to the eye. But, actually, ang favorite quotation ko from The Little Prince is, it is the time you wasted for your rose that makes your rose special. Like, you will know that something is special if you're willing to spend and waste time with that person or with that thing. If you're willing to spend time with that person, then that makes that person special. And Kite Runner. The Kite Runner is a story of Amir and Hazan, and it was a required reading for me, for us, in the English department because Afro-Asian literature. So, it was set in Afghanistan and we follow the story of Amir and Hassan. Amir is this rich boy and he has a friend. Hassan's father is a servant of Amir's family. We follow the story of loyalty, of betrayal, And it's a really emotional book, and I have heard a lot of other people rereading and discovering this masterpiece, and I would really want to reread it for this year. And then we have The Book Thief by Marco Sosa. The story of a young girl growing up in a Nazi Germany, and the story is told by Death as an active observer of what is happening, and it tells the story of how humans could make and break other people. This is also a heavy book with heavy topics and heavy themes. I read it as a requirement again. For this prompt, I have chosen Paulo Coelho's The Winner Stands Alone. This novel is not for everybody. Some people even say that this is not the best work of Paulo Coelho, that this is a big disappointment after all his successful writings in other ways. But yun. The Winner Stands Alone is a negative book. It's so gloomy, but it's a special book for me because this is my transition from my giddy fantasy girl reading towards darker YA fantasy. And it is an eye-opener for me because ito yung mga panahon na college ka na and marami ka nang alam na social issues at nakikialam ka na rin sa mga social issues. The Winner Stands Alone is a story of different people, actually. If you know The Alchemist, like yung napaka-famous saying or famous quote in the book The Alchemist, like when you want something, the universe will conspire for you to get it, or something like that. So, The Winner Stands Alone is actually the opposite of that. And yun nga, I owe it to this book that I am now more aware that not everything we see is what it is. This is my introduction to the world behind the scene, to the world behind this glitz and glamour. How busy the people in the backstage are para lang ipakita itong glamorous na event na to the cameras, and how we adore the glitz and glamour of Hollywood without even acknowledging the efforts of the people behind the stage, and how consumerism would consume us as people. And there were a lot of other social issues that were tackled in this book, and I recommend it for people who are looking for a different side of Paulo Coelho's writing. Very different from The Alchemist. If you're a fan of The Alchemist, try reading this and you will see what I mean. And that's it for this video. If you reach this part of the video, I have a question for you. And that is, which among this Filipino cuisine you consider as your comfort food? And for me, my comfort food is actually sinigang. I like everything sour and everything salty and a little spicy in it, just a little spicy sinigang. It's perfect for cold weathers, and I'm really a cold weather person. I like rainy season, and what more can you ask for than a sour sinigang during those times? So how about you? What's your Filipino cuisine comfort food? Please let me know in the comment section, and I will do shoutouts in my next videos next week for those who answered this question. If you like this video and enjoyed this book tag, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more bookish contents, book talk, and book reviews with me. Happy reading!